All right, this is the Reverb Experiment episode 1.5. So we know we said we're going to be doing bi-weekly episodes, but because of all the things that are going on, we figured that because we are the voice of the people, that we should be chiming in between episodes as well. So in between episodes, we're going to do Zoom video conference calls, and they're going to be half episodes. So we just wanted to make sure that we checked in with y'all. Hopefully everybody is safe. With all the things that are going on across the nation, like I said, we just wanted to speak up and chime in with everybody. So under me, we have Rajio.
Rajio, what's up, guys?
Under him, we have Photo B.
What's going on, everybody?
And then under him, we have Steph.net.
What's good?
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
Good, man. Staying out the way. These super depressing times.
Facts. Photo B, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Just trying to keep my head out of certain thoughts of the situation at hand. But other than that, I'm all right.
Steph.net, how you hanging over there?
I'm as good as possible. I mean, I'm trying to balance maintaining my mental health and still being on social media at the same time. So,
yeah, I can speak to that. I know for me, I'm drained. I'm I'm emotionally drained, and it sucks because, for what we do, you have to stay connected. Like, I've been on Twitter and just trying to check and trying to keep up with all the trending topics, and it's just so much going on that, along with, with the mental health, you're also trying to keep up to date with everything that's going on. And it's like, you want to disconnect, but you have to stay connected. So I know for me, I'm drained. I'm emotionally drained.
I feel like when it comes to, my immediate situation, my family's good and we're blessed. But as far as what's going on in the world, bro, I'm not good with that. You know what I'm saying? I wrote a post the other day and I was like, I cried for us. And then every day, it just feels like that every single day. It's a reality that we already lived and we already know, but it's a reality that seems like it's becoming more prevalent and more available. And you can see how the media kind of pushes a narrative against us. You know what I mean? And that shit's just straight up. It's propagandized to kill us, bro. And it looks like it. And every time we fucking turn around, it's us. Right. I mean, it's us. So it really is. It's killing me emotionally for us.
I mean, I told y'all my homegirl had came up with the idea of a round table for Black women that worry for their Black men. And I'm like, oh, that's a dope idea. But it's sad that it even has to be an idea that we have to use, our resources on stuff like this. Like, it's dope, but we shouldn't need it. Like, that make no sense to me.
I don't know what it is, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel like I've been getting more and more desensitized to the situation, and that's what hurts me the most. Because it's like it's happened so often, and it's almost like it almost feels like it's normal about how often it's happening, and that's not good as well because it shouldn't happen as often as it does.
Yeah. I echo all of those sentiments. I'm angry. I'm infuriated. I'm upset. I'm sad. I'm distraught. There's so many different emotions that I can't even put into words. And just where we're at, where we're at had to happen. You can't rebuild unless it's burnt down. And although there's other things that are mixed into that, as far as the looting, as far as the undercover cops, as far as the infiltrators that are instigating the looting.
Man, bro, come on, bro.
You know what I mean? All the other ethnicities that are, some are helping the majority are helping, but there's a few bad apples that are jumping in and just taking opportunity. And they're, setting fire to Black-owned businesses and things like that. Is like there's so much packed into what's going on. And last night, anywhere from Oakland to Houston to Louisville to Minneapolis to Dallas to San Jose, it was all over. And I was like, I was trying to keep up with everything. And it's like, that's why, like, and for those that are listening, we wanted to make sure that we were not first to report or to react, but we sat down and let our emotions kind of even out a little bit, so that way when we do speak, that it's meaningful. And I just want to shout out all of those that have been protesting, all of those that showed up on the front lines, all of those that were there till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, that were standing in unity with our cause. Because to be honest, this is our cause, and our cause should be everybody's cause. And unfortunately, it's not. But I want to shout out all of those people that have sacrificed not only their time, but their resources to put their freedom on the line to protest. Because, we're going to look back at this in history, and we're going to have to explain to our children where were we and what did we do. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, I didn't do anything. And they're going to look at you crazy. They're going to look at you crazy and say, well, Dad or Mom, why were you not involved in that? Or why did you not fight for this? And you're going to look back and you're going to have a lot of guilt for being on the wrong side of history. And I don't want that for us. Obviously, we are a podcast that's about the culture, and we are going to speak up for our issues. And all of us on this podcast, we're all activists at heart, whether we do it in the streets or whether we do it with our content. We're going to speak up for our people, period. So
I feel like, man, it's overwhelming, bro. It's overwhelming from Aubrey to the young lady that was killed with the wrongful warrant execution in Texas, and then this, and it's just one thing after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. And I feel like Photo B made a good point. He said that he feels like it is he's becoming desensitized, and I don't want to become desensitized to it. Right. You know what I mean? I want it to always mean something to me. I always want to be a voice to stand up and say something that needs to be done. Or even, BJ, Photo B and I, we've been out, we've protested together. We've been out there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We've hit the streets. And so it's not like we're just sitting back and reporting, not doing anything.
Right.
And I think I told Photo B about a year ago, I said, yo, I think it's going to come down to it being violent. And I told him it might come down to shooting back at the police, fighting back at the police. You understand what I'm saying? And it might come down to that ultimately. And nobody wants violence to ensue, but you're not leaving us any choice.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I do feel overwhelmed, bro. In a lot of sense, I feel defeated. I feel ganged up on. I feel like the nation is tricked to see us in a certain light. So when you see a black man being killed by a white man as an Asian man, you don't step in, right? I feel like they've shown us dying so often. When we were doing the music video, and I typed in all those names of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that had been killed by police over the last 7 to 10 years, there was a video associated with each of them. Mm-hmm. You couldn't just get the story without the content. You know what I'm saying? The police kill more white people a year than they do black people, because the crimes are the same. There's white people are more. We never see police kill a white person. We never see them kill anybody but us. Is it accidental? Or is that what media's pushing, or why? Why is it so easy to kill one of us and then to get fame and clout off of that? Why?
Right. Yeah. Well, and to echo that, I mean, for people not to get the wrong idea, we're against police killing anybody.
Yeah, for sure.
White, brown, Asian, Mexican, whoever you are. Police shouldn't be killing anybody.
It's not their job. Right. It's not their job.
we are more likely to be killed, and that's what we have the issue is, because there have been white people killed by the police. There have been Mexican, Asian, whatever. Obviously, because of the way the media is run, those usually are not. Those stories are not broadcasted or promoted because it's not race related. So, but again, we're against all killings of police or getting killed by the police. So. BJ, what?
What's the house?
Because you said that you feel desensitized.
Mm.
Did you watch the video?
Yeah.
So, because that was probably the worst video I didn't even see it. I saw enough of it to know I don't want to watch the rest of it. Did you feel desensitized when you watched that video?
It's like it's like watching it didn't make me mad because I seen it coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like I don't expect. It's like if somebody showed me a video of the same thing, but somebody came and tried to tackle the cop, that would have shocked me, because
hell yeah,
and that's different. That's something that we haven't seen. We haven't seen each other stand up for each other. But at the same time, like, how can we expect? With everything that's been going on, how can anybody get mad at somebody for not trying to stop them?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've heard people
say that again.
I said I've heard people saying that, and I'm thinking in my head, they gonna die too, for sure gonna die. You know what I mean? If you try to intervene, they gonna shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm at that point though, man. I'm at that point to where I'm willing to have my life taken to prevent someone else. I'm at that point, bro. I'm so hostile on the inside, bro. Right? I'm not hostile enough to. I'm like I said, Photo B and I have protested. We've done it. I'm hostile enough to do it, bro. I can't stand by and watch a cop kill someone. I can't do it. It's not in me, bro. I can't hold my phone. I can't, because it's happened so many times. I can't do it. I know for a fact that if that was me and that was the situation, I know I'd probably be dead. Because there's no, I couldn't, bro. I couldn't. I can't. I'm tired of it.
Yeah. I'm extremely upset that the young lady that took the video is getting hammered for not doing anything.
She's a child.
And she's a child. And if it wasn't for her video, there would be no conviction. There would be no, we knew what went on. It would just be another story of a black man that was killed without any evidence, and they would have tried to cover it up. So, we should be championing her for her being brave enough to videotape it, for her being
also
brave.
She didn't know he was going to die. That's a really precarious situation for someone to die in.
Exactly. Because as when you're seeing the police operate, we've been trained and we've been taught to believe that the police are our friends, that they're, not as far as black people goes, but just in a general sense, they're there to do their jobs. You're not thinking, oh, this guy's going to die, because she could not feel what he felt when he was on the ground. She only heard him saying, I can't breathe. And who would have known that he would have been on his neck for 9 minutes straight? Nobody would have known that. So, and even when he went lifeless, you're thinking that maybe he just went unconscious. So, I don't know, man. There's no, I can't even, I'm trying to put.
Bro, this dude's on the force, and he's already had records in 2008 of already beating and shooting a black man, right?
He had 18
priors.
Whatever you want to call them, complaints, whatever you want to call them.
Reports against them.
18 reports.
18, dog. 18. You got a man who's got 18. Come on, bro.
And those are just the ones that people reported.
Right. Isn't part of being an officer? Isn't your psyche, your psych health, your mental health? Isn't that all a part of being a police officer? Don't they do psych evaluations for this very reason? Don't they do stress tests for this very reason? Bro, it hurts me so much, bro. It hurts me so much that he murdered this man and they put a barrier. The whole police staff that was everybody on the register, they lined outside of his house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until they couldn't fund it anymore.
Yeah. And to me, he should have been arrested immediately. I don't know what took him so long to arrest him. But again,
you got 4 cops on one man, bro.
Well, and then my thing of it is they haven't arrested the other 2 or 3. I don't know what's taking them so long for that either. So I don't know.
They all got their hands in their pocket, like the dude we saw in the video.
Well, they're all one gang. They're all one clique, and they're going to protect each other.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you what's really real, bro. Do you ever think about what it takes to be an Asian police officer in America? Do we take into account why that dude left his hands in his pockets? It could be racially motivated, right? You could see it in his face that he wasn't feeling the situation. You could see how uncomfortable he was. But what about his family, right? What about he steps in and then they turn on him?
Right,
exactly. What about he makes the right play, right? And they turn on him. I'm not giving him an out, but I just want to draw the picture of what it really looks like behind the scenes for these guys. Right. I heard the chief of police, and I hope this isn't true. I heard he was African American, right?
I'm not too sure.
Okay. Well, let's say he is. Just because of this is what I've heard. I think I've seen it a couple times. If he is, do you know how hard it is to make an arrest for 4 police officers that killed a black man, and you're only in office you're only the chief of police as an African American to give black people a false sense of safety? How much power he doesn't have? How much he has to worry about his family if he turns on the blue code? Well, you guys are looking it up, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's the gang mentality, right?
It's inner politics, bro.
You're not gonna snitch on your people, because when you come back to your people, then they're gonna turn on you. So you feel like you're taught that's your family. So you're not going to go against your family, which is what I've heard that those police officers are going to exercise and plead the fifth. They're not going to cooperate because of that same mentality. So,
what cooperation do you need? And you can see it on the video. What cooperation do you need? You're a conspirator to murder if you stand there with your hands in your pocket and allow it to happen. You're an accomplice. Let you hold the gun and I drive the car. We're both going to jail.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't want to again, we're not here to report. This is just reactions.
Nope, that's my reaction.
Chief Arredondo, he does look like he is a man of color. I think that maybe the police chief don't quote me on that, just because of all the emotional toll. I haven't had a chance to research anything. I've just been trying to keep up with the protests. But I don't know, man. I just know that things are going to change.
It's not built. It was never built. What's his last name?
Definitely black.
Arredondo?
Yeah, he's definitely black.
Chief Arredondo, yeah.
Bro, and look, imagine everybody's like, why haven't we made an arrest? Why haven't we made? Because he's not in control. He's not in control. He's the face, but he's not the boss.
Well, it's chain of command. It's always chain of command. And there's always politics.
No, okay, let's take the chain of command out of it. Let's go back to the gang mentality, right? And if he does side with the people, the black people of color, he still has to go back to a predominantly white precinct.
Facts.
There's repercussions. There's repercussions for his decisions, just like there's repercussions for that Asian police officer's decisions. The only thing that we know that's constant, that we can see clear as day, is that these people kill us all the time and they get off.
Right.
They fucking walk. They disrespect us with third-degree murder. There was no negligence. It was intent.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Stuff.
So you're gonna have to zoom in, zoom out, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was that
before we wrap up, how do we feel about? Did you guys listen to Killer Mike's interview or to his speech?
I did not. I haven't had a chance, bro.
Photo B?
I have not.
Okay. You guys got to go listen to it. That's probably the most powerful speech that I've heard throughout this whole ordeal. So go listen to it. For those that are watching, this is episode 1.5. So again, this is an in-between reaction video. Next episode, you do not want to miss it. You do not want to miss it. We are dedicating our second episode, to social injustice. We're going to have our first guest on the show, Elizabeth Kim, she is a current president of the National Lawyers Guild Sacramento chapter. She is a champion for social justice. She does a lot of work in the community, and she's just a straight up boss. Like, she has been dedicated to fighting for social injustice since the age of 18, right out of high school. So she will be on there. We want to thank you guys that have been listening, whether it be Apple Podcasts, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Spotify. We've had listeners from France, from Alaska. So we just want to thank everybody. For those that have left reviews, next episode, if you leave a review or a comment, we will shout you out on the show. So leave a review, give us a 5-star, and then leave your comment, and we will shout you out on the show. I want to wait for Steph to come back before we exit out. And VJ, if you got to go ahead and go, man, and then we'll finish up. But before we go, what are you guys' thoughts on what happened in Minneapolis and what seemed like it's happening across, where places are being set on fire, the vandalism, the looting, quote unquote looting, because it's all alleged. I'm not trying to report any way or the other. We all saw it. So what are your guys' thoughts on those?
On the situation that happened, or the rioting and the protesting afterwards?
The rioting and the businesses and the windows getting busted out, and the buildings being set ablaze. What are your guys'? Because we all know how we feel about the police killings. How do we feel about the reaction?
I'm conflicted due to the fact that what can you tell people who are mad? What can you tell them to do? Everything that they've done, everything that we've done so far has not worked. But when we attack somebody's pockets, we attack somebody's property, they learn they can get that back. But you can't get that life. Right? That's one. Two, most of us didn't even start the damn riots.
Say
Most
that,
of the
bro.
riots started protesting, and they already out guns blazing.
Come on,
See
bro.
all the pictures of all these people who are probably running away, who got hit by these rubber bullets. My baby sister, my 23-year-old little sister, was in Louisville last night doing a protest and shit. She called me beforehand and let me know she was going. And she told me 30 minutes later she was on the way home because they start talking about they had the cue to use lethal force.
Lethal force.
Lethal force.
I'm gonna kill you because you're out here protesting.
Because you're out here. Because you're out here. You're out here mad. You're mad because somebody died. Now I'm afraid that you're gonna kill me. So now I'm gonna use some lethal force.
So the defense to killing somebody is killing more people.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Interesting. Raggio, how do you feel about the reactions?
I feel like burn this bitch down.
Yes.
I feel just like that. I told you a little bit earlier, I told BJ about a year ago that it was going to come down to violence. And I know quite a bit of Black Lives Matters people who want to protest peacefully, but even Martin Luther King said rioting is the voice of the people who are unheard. Right? And when you act like you don't see us, and when you act like you don't hear us until it's time to kill us, bro, how do you want us to respond? The judges aren't judging fairly. They're not judging properly. They're not making the correct decisions. The police aren't policing each other. Right? What do they want us to do? What do they want us to do? They expect us to do things. It's almost like they want us to work into like a condition. It's like we talked about with the whole Joe Biden thing. You want our vote because you're Democrat, bro. They want us to protest when they kill us, and that's it. You know what I mean? And I mean, I don't know how many people believe in the word, but you know, the kingdom suffers violence, and the violence take it by force.
Mm-hmm.
Burn this bitch down, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we've ever had to have and ever had to move, anytime in history, there was rioting, there was fighting, there was burning, and there was death. These are the same Americans that Boston Tea Party their way to freedom. And it's praised in history books.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we forgot about that. This
Yeah.
is what this whole country is made on, bro. Violence, rioting, drug sales, right? Killing people, taking over land, tricking people, smallpox on blankets, bringing people over here on ships and forcing them to do labor. That doesn't sound like love to me. I've never seen it. As long as I've been alive, my dad has told me to stay away from the cops. 34 years, bro. 34 years, and I wasn't able to see what he was talking about till about 6-7 years ago. Burn this bitch down.
Steph, I know you kind of been in and out. We're giving our reactions to the reactions from the killings. So the rioting, the burning, how do we feel?
My thing is that everybody has an answer on what not to do. You're not supposed to do this. That's not how you're supposed to do it. But how are we supposed to do it? You know what I mean? If we peaceful, it's a problem. You know what I mean? If we're rioting, it's a problem. And my thing is, we're fighting for something that has never been attained before. So how do you know the answer of how to get there?
How to
You know what I mean?
Ooh,
have you ever broken down systematic racism before? You haven't. So you can't say what's right or wrong.
That's bars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel the same way. I think the only issue that I have is that Black-owned businesses were destroyed, and they were busted out. And you know, if you're gonna riot, and again, because there were infiltrators, we don't know who started it. So I don't want to sit here and blame it on anybody because I don't.
Did you see the video? Did you see the video of the cop?
That was in Minneapolis. I'm not talking.
I mean, but at the end of the day, there's gonna be some casualties in war.
There will.
There you go, Steph.
That's just how it goes.
There you go, Steph.
Period.
But Black-owned businesses should not be on the front line. If you're going to do that, and again, we don't know who did it. So I'm not saying that I don't agree with it. I just don't like the fact that there were Black people that owned businesses that they worked their whole entire life to get to that point.
Bro,
they need to put Black-owned in the window like back in the day.
Like Black and facts, bro. See, this is the thing. Killer Mike and David Banner said something that I related to so much, that the worst thing that happened to us was integration, because we lost everything that was ours, right? Yeah. And I feel the same way you do about the Black business burning. But if it's a whole strip mall, if it's a whole street and it's a whole block, then we as Black people need to go ahead and restore this, man, and we need to do what we need to do to make sure we make it right. But there are casualties in war, and this is war, and this is what it looks like when we finally start fighting back.
Right. And again, like I said, I don't disagree with the methods. Look, I'm on board because they killed Martin Luther and they killed Malcolm X. One was peaceful, one said by any means necessary, and both of them got killed. Whether you believe it's by the FBI or by the government or not, I believe it's by the government because I have enough evidence to believe that. But what I'm saying is that I agree with the method. Just us as a people, and this is why we waited, was because we did not want to act out of our emotions. That when you have something as big as a giant as systematic racism, as institutional racism, as America that has been, this is what it was founded on, and we have 400 plus years of oppression, we have to be extremely calculated. We have to be extremely organized. We have to be extremely on purpose and mobilized to make sure that what we're doing is going to reach the result that we want. And I'm not saying that the method does not. All I'm saying is that our own people are not our enemy. That's not the enemy. If you wanted to, incite some damage, like we're in Sacramento, to me, that's just like you going down to Oak Park and then you destroying all of Oak Park. No, why don't you go to Roseville? Why don't you go to the Rolling 40? Why don't you go to Brandon Bay? Why don't you go to Folsom? Go to where those people that are comfortable, that have not said anything, but they have been benefiting off of our labor and the country that we built on. don't go to Meadowview. Don't go to CV. Go to somewhere where you are going to make. And I'm not telling
a hell of an impact.
I'm not telling people what to do. So and I don't want that coming off. But I'm just saying that our people have suffered enough. We should not be suffering twice. That we're seeing our people getting shot and killed, and then our businesses are getting ramshacked as well. And that's all I'm saying, because I truly believe, because I saw a lot of undercover cops. I
truly believe that this stuff was planted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they want to be able to have a reason to discredit us. And the people that were silent, they silent until they feel like they have something that they can discredit us with, and that's why they did that.
Yep.
That's why they did that.
Absolutely. Totally agree. So BJ obviously had to leave us. Photo B had to leave us because he had a previous engagement at 1. So we wanted to just make sure we chimed in with you guys, chimed in with the people. We stand in complete unity with what is going on as far as the protests, and we are going to use our platform as much as possible to make sure that we are getting the message across. So again, next week it will drop on Tuesday morning. We are going to have an episode that is dedicated strictly to social injustices. We are going to have Elizabeth Kim on our show. And it is going to be, you do not want to miss this episode. You do not want to miss it at all. This is history. This is history, and we can't. We don't want to miss the moment where we could change not only our future but our children's future. I have 2 young ones. I have a 13-year-old that's turning 14, and I have an 8-month-old where, with my 13-year-old, I talk to her about race frequently now, because at 13, I feel like at that age, most cultures they deem you as an adult at that age. So we're already talking about what it is to be a Black woman in this world, what it is to deal with some of the hurdles that you're going to have to deal with. So that way, you're not seeing the world in a utopia perspective, and not just in America, across the world, that this is an issue in other countries as well. That white supremacy does not only just live in the United States. And wherever you go, you're gonna have to deal with this issue. So just make sure that she's aware and trying to give her as much knowledge as I can, because there may be a day that I'm not here. Like, I know, once this COVID stuff leaves, I already told all the family, we're all getting trained on how to handle a handgun. You are all going to have to know how to use a firearm. We will definitely exercise our Second Amendment, because that's what we need to do. They are.
Right.
But you see how they showed up to their protests. They showed up to their protest with the blammies on deck.
Mm-hmm.
Armed to the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I agree with you, bro, that my son is, I got the twins, and my son, he asked me a couple weeks ago, and it made me cry, man. And just randomly, just a trip from maybe right before the COVID-19, just a trip from Costco, man. And we were coming back, and he said, "Dad, why do the police kill us?" And I had to tell him I needed to think about it, because I couldn't give him a reason. And he's so young, he doesn't understand racism. He doesn't understand race, but he's asking me these questions when he's 6 years old, because that's what he's exposed to already. He can't even enjoy his childhood, bro. They can't even enjoy being 6 years old and playing outside. We're in the car all the time. There's a police, daddy, don't go that way. Bro, that kills me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kills me. It shouldn't be. And this is why I am where I am. I'm willing to die for it, because he didn't ask to be here. And we got to do something.
Yeah. And we will. Next episode. and today and going forward. And, you know, like I said, and this is why I think we all understood the importance of having a Black-owned platform.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to discredit anybody else, but we don't have many. This is one of the only ones that, you know, that I feel like in our area that we can unapologetically speak on our issues. So, you know, we'll do the final thoughts, and then we'll let everybody go, and we'll see y'all next Saturday.
Go get in the
So,
shower.
Steph, you want to give your final thoughts, and then
your legs hurt?
We'll go ahead and get ready for the next episode.
Just, you know, everybody be aware of your mental health during this time. I feel like it's very, very important. Like, you know, it's a lot to take on. It's a lot to deal with. A lot of us still have to work every day and, you know, carry this with us and the things that we have to do on the day-to-day. So definitely decompress. If you have to, log out. You know, it is what it is. You know, you have to take care of yourself first before you could even put forth anything towards the cause. So you got to be there mentally.
That's good. Rajiel.
And I don't think I have anything else to say, bro. Steph pretty much wrapped it up. I mean, intentions are high, emotions are high. And about the work thing, I think it's crazy because I had somebody tell me that Black people commit 50% of the crimes, and if we just comply, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? You know, just so undereducated about what's really going on, so ignorant about what's going on. You know, I would say be aware of who the people you call friends are right now. Because a lot of us have people around us that aren't friends. Your friends and your loved ones, all my white friends, then my Mexican friends, Hispanic friends, my Latino friends, my Asian friends, Chinese friends, Japanese friends that love me, bro, they're posting in my behalf. They're calling to check on me, bro. I got a lot of people that I work with that hit me up for recipes and talk on my post all day, and I've heard nothing from them. I've seen nothing from them. I've tagged people in posts and got no response. Because the good old boys. Okay, it's fine. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Thank you. But that's where I'm at, man. I had to reevaluate my circle because my circle is the same people that I let slide time and time again when I've had these conversations, and then shit goes back to normal, and then we're back normal, and then every time shit goes crazy, they're looking at us and they're pointing the finger at us, and then they're making us feel bad for wanting to fight back for people hurting us when they know damn well if it was their family, they'd have the same energy. That's pretty much all I got, man. Just know your surroundings, bro. Know the people that you're around.
Yeah, I have a lot to say, but I'm going to save the majority of it for the podcast. I think the one thing that I want to say is kind of echoing what you just said, Rajiel, is that look to your left and look to your right and see who's standing on the front lines with you. I want to take this time out to just thank Black women for how supportive that they've been forever, and just apologize just on behalf of the culture, how many times and just how often we just disrespect Black women. And whenever you see a protest video, Black women are right there in the front lines.
Every time, bro.
Every single time. But yet we condone the music, we condone the marginalization, we condone the sexualization, and we just continually just disrespect our women, and we don't say nothing because we let it go because it's just been so normalized. But when things go down, when it hits the fan, and when you need somebody, Black women are there every single time. So we can't, that can't happen no more, man. It just can't happen anymore. The disrespect, the name calling, the just devaluing, we just it's that's a wrap. All that's a wrap. How
many times do we talk about that?
That continually disrespect Black women, it's a wrap. We won't be supporting you no more. We won't be supporting you no more. All these Black churches that y'all be sending around the tithing plate, but when somebody gets killed or there's a black issue, you don't speak up, we won't be going anymore. We won't be going anymore. All these businesses that you use us as props and that you have us in the commercials and you have us making songs like the McDonald's song, but when something like this happens, you don't speak up, we won't be supporting you either. That's the energy that it needs to get to.
It's going, bro. It's going.
But it has to. It has to, because that's the only way that we're gonna make any kind of a dent is, and I said it earlier on my post, is the only way for you to make change in a capitalistic society is take away the capital.
Facts.
The black dollar is tremendous. It's
$1 trillion a year.
It's I would think there's probably more than that, but yeah, but you speak with your money. And what have we been speaking about? No matter what happens to us, we're still going to spend our money.
Yeah.
I tell you what, bro. Everything you said is spot on. Everything you said is spot on. I even want to impress upon the black actors, the athletes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the people with the funds to put things in position in place and to come together. T.I. and those guys are trying to put together black banks. That's what it takes, bro. Killer Mike and those guys want to put together black banks. That's what it takes. It's not I made it and now the rest of you guys can suffer. Because all of us are doing well. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have to be on the front lines. But we do because it's greater than us. Mm-hmm. Each of us could be at home in the residences that we own and chill. Right? And do what we've been doing. But I agree with you 100%. We've talked about this music thing so many times, bro. Mm-hmm. So many times. And then it just pushes the narrative down to the children coming, the generation below us. Mm-hmm. And then the generation below us. And they grow up in a culture where it's okay to do these things. And I was a part of it for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And I guess you have to have that awakening to understand how devastating it is. I think for me, having kids was the awakening for me. Mm-hmm. When I had a son and I had a daughter and I realized that, I can't be making songs about women twerking ass in the club every day and telling women that's the lifestyle we want to see. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, bro, man.
Yeah.
We're a long way out, though.
That's real.
No, I think this feels different. This feels different. And if there's no real change that comes after this, I don't know what to say. But we definitely got to organize. And thank y'all, whoever was listening to this podcast. And again, we want to thank Apple. We want to thank Spotify. We want to thank YouTube. We want to thank all the platforms, Stitcher. We want to thank everybody that has listened. This is the Reverb Experiment, episode 1.5. Please tune in to episode 2. And again, we will have special guest Elizabeth Kim on our show, which it will be a very informative, opinionated, and unapologetic episode where we all going to share how we feel. And we just wanted to be more responsible and just let the emotion die down a little bit before we speak. Because our voices are important and, we are responsible for the energy that we put out. So we want to thank y'all. And please tune in to the next episode. And if you have not, go watch episode 1, Propagandized. It is on all platforms, YouTube, Stitcher, Apple, Spotify. All right.
Peace.
All right, we out.
Bye.
Be safe.
Yep.
Let's go. If you just let